Today I'm doing another experimental recipe. There's a recipe for refrigerator jam using chia seeds that I've been curious to try. Before we get started on that though, I'm going to try a couple different methods of hulling strawberries and decide which one I like best. The first method I've seen is just simply using a paring knife. You let about an inch or so or less of the knife stick out past your thumb. And be careful not to get your fingers on the blade. Seems like the sort of thing I would do. These are organic strawberries, which I've already rinsed and let drip dry in the sink. Then you just stick this in the strawberry at about a 45-degree angle, twist the strawberry around the knife, and the hull just pops right off like that. The second method is using a straw. This one wastes a little bit of the strawberry, so I don't think I'm going to be using this for very many, but I'm curious to see how well it works. Just stick it through the end and pop the hull off. But I didn't get it quite centered, so it only popped off most of the hull. And then, of course, there's a little bit of strawberry stuck in the straw. Great if I wanted hollowed out strawberries for some reason. Many vegetable peelers come with a device on the end for removing potato eyes, and this is not quite the same shape as the one that I saw recommended for hulling strawberries also. So we'll see if this works or not. Yeah, not so great. That's pretty much just smushing the strawberry. So, yeah, got it to work. Wouldn't really recommend that one. And then I have these mini tongs, which I think are meant for serving ice cubes, but they're very similar in shape to a strawberry huller. So I'm going to see if I can get them to work similarly. For that, I'm just going to pinch at the base of the green part, twist the strawberry. Oh, that works beautifully. And that way I don't need to buy a special strawberry huller. I can just use these tongs that I already have. Now I'm curious to see if these larger serving tongs that I have also work for hulling strawberries. Oh yes, they definitely do. That's what I would recommend for hulling strawberries. If you don't hull enough strawberries to need a special strawberry huller, is see if you have some metal tongs that work similarly. Now that I've hulled all of the strawberries, I have about a pound of strawberries here, which is making 4 cups of whole strawberries. If you sliced them, it'd probably be closer to 3 cups. If you don't trust your blender, I would recommend slicing them, but I have a pretty powerful blender, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave them whole and see how that works. And I am just about out of raw honey, so I'm going to be using turbinado sugar in this recipe, even though most of the recipes that I've seen call for honey. I'm adding 1/4 cup of turbinado sugar, and I think 3 tablespoons of honey or of agave would probably work just as well. And then we add the chia seed, which is what makes this jam gel. There's no gelatin or pectin or anything like that. And 3 tablespoons of chia seed for this much strawberry. And then we'll just blend it until it all looks like mush. My blender seems to be having trouble with the lack of liquid, so I'm adding a tablespoon of lemon juice, and then I'll add some more water if that doesn't do it. Alright, I added the lemon juice, and then I had to turn off the blender first, obviously, and then smush down the strawberries a little bit so that it could grab hold of them. And then I actually used the auto smoothie setting on my blender, which basically just alternates between high and pulsing and then low. So if you don't have that setting, you can just play around with the speeds a little bit, pulse it a couple of times, and that should work just fine. And then I'm going to pour this out into some half-pint jars that I have here and put it in the refrigerator overnight to let the chia seeds do their work and make the jelly set. The strawberry chia jam set up beautifully in the fridge. The verdict is it was a success. It's not as sweet as a commercial jam, but even my husband, who was very fond of very sweet things, liked it. I might think of calling it a strawberry spread instead of strawberry jam if you need to adjust to the idea of it being less sweet, or if you're serving it to guests who might be more used to processed food, something like that. And because there's nothing in here that actually preserves the jam, it'll only last for about a week in the fridge, but I tried freezing part of a jar and then thawing it out, and the texture was just fine, just the same. So it should probably last another month at least in the freezer, quite possibly longer than that. And the texture it does have a little bit of the chia seed texture, which I was concerned about, but it was just fine once it was on the bread. It all just blended in, and it was very much like jam, but very simple and completely healthy and easy to make.